have on the show former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV to tell us more about those charges. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Senator.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Ms. Gretchen.
Okay, tell us all about the grounds of these plunder and graft charges, and how do you intend to submit the corroborating evidence on these charges?
Okay, kahapon po, kasama na dun sa complaint namin yung mga corroborating evidence necessary for the Ombudsman to file cases sa Sandigan Bayan. They can still, of course, they will still go through the fact-finding phase kasi protocol ng Ombudsman yan. But we have given enough information, enough documentary evidence para ma-pursue nila yung cases. Ang mga included dito sa final namin, actually 23 counts ito. 23 different instances of violations of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, plunder law, yung Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards ng public officials. And doon po lahat yun. So, ano yan? Aside dun sa 650 million pesos confidential funds misuse na familiar yung mga kababayan natin, meron pang 2.7 billion pesos na confidential funds misuse din ni Sara Duterte when she was mayor of Davao City. 2.7 billion yan. May 8 billion pesos na overpriced laptops when she was DepEd Secretary. May 12 billion COA disallowances as DepEd Secretary. 7 billion unauthorized unliquidated cash advances nung DepEd Secretary. May more than 2 billion pesos ill-gotten wealth siya and non-declarations sa SALN. And yung bribery because she received dividends from a drug lord when she was mayor of Davao City. So lahat po yan, nandoon. Yung mga ebidensya niyan, yung iba we got from Quantum, yung iba nakuha namin sa sarili naming research, at kasama na dyan yung mga bank accounts issue na 2016 ko pa nire-raise na hanggang ngayon iniiwasan nila. Ayun sa nakarating. At itong bank accounts na to, na-corroborate na ito nung Ombudsman noong 2017, specifically si Overall Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang, nakuha niya the same set of documents at yun ang reason kung ba't siya tinanggal sa pwesto ni Digong. So, yan po yan. We are confident of our evidence.
Okay. Medyo malalaki ho yung mga amounts, no? All in the billions, except for the confidential funds. So, ang alam po ng publiko, ito pong confidential funds na nasa 650 million and over 100 million already used up in 11 days. Yan po yung matunog. Dito po sa bilyones, so, how do you intend to prove graft and malversation by the Vice President herself? Mayroon po ba tayong mga dokumento na magtuturo that there was intent to plunder?
Ano po, yung iba po, graft, specifically, lahat po yan documentary evidence to, COA documents po yan. Hindi naman namin just, from our imagination, yung sinulat namin, no. We got this from documents from the Quadcom na kinuha yung mga documents from COA and the other pertinent agencies. So, for example, itong overpriced laptops, yan, graft po yan. So, lahat po ng mga lumabas doon sa Quadcom hearing na rigged bidding ito. So, it's the same modus as yung flood control issue na lumalabas dyan. Yan yun, documentary evidence mainly yan. Tapos siya, as the approving authority, liable siya. So that's just one case. Pero yung 2.7 billion pesos na misuse ng confidential fund, pareha sila ng modus dun sa 650 million. Ito yung Mary Grace Piatos, di ba? And the other things. Ganun din po ang ginawa niyang modus doon sa Davao City when she was mayor. Tinuloy-tuloy nila ito. Nung mayor si Digong, ganun din. So they passed it on. 11,000 ghost employees ang ginamit nila to liquidate yung annual confidential funds sila na nag-accumulate nga sa 2.7 billion. And ito lang, just to cite one example, annually 450 million pesos ang confidential intelligence funds ng Davao City. Ngayon yan ay more than all of the Metro Manila cities combined. So doon yung makikita kung saan sila nagdidispalgo ng pera ng gobyerno.
So you're also calling on the courts to look into how these millions, hundreds of millions of confidential funds were used when she was mayor of Davao City.
Yes, yan po yun.
Pero hindi niyo pa po
nakuha na namin
nakikita
yung total.
kung yung mga resibo.
Meron na pong COA report niyan.
Sa Davao.
Opo, sa Davao City. Kaya nga, yun supposed to be, this is an open and shut case. But because of yun nga yung kanilang sense of impunity and entitlement, hindi to sanay ng nananagot. Ginagamit nila intimidation tactics kaya they're getting away with it. Walang nagpe-pursue ng cases. So this is the first time they will be held to account for these actions. Kaya nakita niyo yung audacity nung naging vice president na siya, nung ini-scrutinize siya sa Quadcom, di ba? Yung demeanor niya talagang parang, how dare you investigate me? Parang ganon. Kasi that's the first time in her life na tinatawag siya for that. Yung ginagawa niyang, yung modus nga na yun na pagbibigay lang sila ng mga pangalan, kung ano-ano, mag-invento sila ng pangalan para lang makuha yung cash na yun and that they can spend it as they please. They've been doing that since mayor sila ng Davao City.
Another allegation here that you put on the table is that she received money from a drug lord during her term as Davao City mayor. Do you have proof of that?
Yes. Present ko na po yan sa Quadcom. In fact, paulit-ulit ako nito. 2016 pa, di ba? Tapos nung sa Quadcom, nung 2024, the chairman of that committee asked and requested Digong na kung pwede niyang pirmahan yung waiver ng bank accounts niya right then and there para lang to prove once and for all na kung wala siyang kinalaman. At anong ginawa niya, di ba? Nag-eksena siya, papaluin daw niya ako ng mic para lang malihis yung attention. At the end of that hearing, he did not sign a waiver, pero present ko po doon lahat, the account numbers, how much got in, kung lahat sila magkakapatid. Kasama si Hanilet, pati nga si Kitty. Meron silang manager's checks from the drug lord, Sammy Uy, na sinabi ni Las Cañas na partner ni Michael Yang. So, it was there. It's very specific. Nakuha ko yung documents na yon, binigay ko yun sa ombudsman, final ko yung plunder. Yung ombudsman nag-imbestiga, nakuha niya from AMLAC, sabi niya the same. Tapos because of that, tinanggal siya sa pwesto ni Digong. And end of story, andito tayo ngayon. So they have been evading this issue time and again. And nagtataka naman ako, every time I talk about it, it's as if people are hearing it for the first time. No, I've been over this thing over and over.
We do know that the vice president is an impeachable official, and an impeachable official can only be removed from office via an impeachment court. So what is the outcome that you're hoping for by submitting this complaint to the Office of the Ombudsman?
Ganito po, yung impeachment kasi is administrative in nature, tatanggalin siya sa pwesto. Yan lang ang penalty nun. Pero ito kasing ombudsman case ay criminal in nature ito, so may penalty ito ng kulong. Ngayon, untested pa yung theory na hindi siya pwedeng kasuhan. Pero pwede siyang imbestigahan. So ngayon, pag natapos yung investigation phase at isasampa na yan sa Sandigan Bayan, her supporters, her lawyers can question it sa Supreme Court kung pwede ba yun o hindi. Pero hindi naman siya tatanggalin sa pwesto eh. Pananagutin lang siya. Kasi otherwise, pag sinabi mong meron siyang immunity, kahit may barilin siya sa gitna ng EDSA in broad daylight na naka-video lahat, eh hindi mo siya magagalaw until matapos yung termino niya. I doubt it. Hindi pwede. May limits yung immunity na yon, di ba? In the pursuance of her duty as vice president in this case. Pero may preventive dapat detention para kung may tama ka na sa utak, you keep on shooting people every day. Di ba? Ano yun? Hindi natin pwedeng ikulong mo, i-detain siya para maproteksyonan yung ibang miyembro ng lipunan. Di ba? That's how you test the theory of immunity.
Okay, looking at, sabi niyo nga meron kayong hawak na ebidensya laban sa vice-presidente. Pero are all of these direct evidence of her giving the go signal, or is this more of a command responsibility thing? Because yun din po yung isa sa mga grounds ng impeachment complaint na inihain laban naman sa presidente pagdating dito sa flood control probe na hinayaan niya yung ganyang korupsyon. Also, against the House Speaker, pareho yung allegations. In terms of strength of case, are you confident na meron po kayong mga talagang magtuturo na ang Vice-Presidente po talaga yung, principal dito that allowed all of these disallowances at unliquidated advances?
Yes. Ganito, no? I'm sorry, pero malayo naman yung comparison mo na itong presidente should be liable for all of these things happening sa loob ng bansa kasi siya yung presidente. He may be responsible, pero iba yung accountable. Yung diretso na yung pwede ka managot sa batas. Siya, head of agency siya. Head of agency, head of office. Ito, you have a specific you have witnesses who said siya nagbigay ng pera sa kanila. Ito yung isang undersecretary niya na binibigyan sila ng sobre every month. Tapos itong si Madriaga, sinasabi niya sa kanya binibigay yung pera at distribute niya. Tapos itong sa bidding, for example, yung procurement documents ng overpriced laptop, siya yung signatory. Itong kay Bong Revilla nga, Senator Bong Revilla na kinasuhan based on a 90 million peso flood control project. Tapos may isang witness na nagbigay siya ng pera. Yun na yun di ba? O tapos, ito nga yung kay Sara Duterte na nakita natin siya doon sa Quadcom. Inako niya na nangyari sa kanya na sa kanya lahat yung responsibilidad. Dinefend niya yung mga subordinates na mga nagkakasala. Parang nagbubulag-bulagan na tayo. We're giving her way too much leeway. Kaya siya nakakalusot ng mga ganyang krimen dahil ganyan yung mindset natin. No. Parehas dapat. Yung ibang nakasuhan at nakulong, given the same standards should be applied to her.
Senator, we do know that the Vice President is the front runner for President in 2028. That's according to surveys. And so there are critics who say that these filings are politically motivated to stop her. Kasi nga ho, no, parang lahat daw ginagawa to be able to prevent her from running. What would you say to that?
Alam niyo, sabi ko nga kanina, 2016 pa ako nandito eh. Ginagawa yan. Asan ba siya? Mayor pa lang yata siya ng not even. Kumbaga, ano ba to? When can we start filing these cases? Nasa politika sila eh. Di talagang at some point naabutan ng election cycle. Pero kailan ko ba tong final? 2016 pa ito, yung bank accounts issue. By the way, you're asking for proof. Pangalan niya yun eh. Manager's check yun in her name. Diba? These are bank accounts na sinasabi niya, alam niyo naman yung bangko. You will have to sign signature cards, lahat-lahat. So wala nang duda yun. So, even assuming, pumasok sa election cycle, which is 2 years away pa, by the way, paano to? Hindi na sila pwedeng kasuhan kasi sasabihin nila na, ay, dahil yan sa politika, dahil tatakbo ko election. Come on, di ba? Dapat yung argumento na yan basura ka agad yan. Ako, when they filed almost 30 cases against me during the time, nung panahon ni Duterte, hindi naman ako umiyak na, hinaharas ako kasi opposition ako, kinikriticize ko sila. Hindi, I just faced them one by one. Hindi, awa ng Diyos, ilan na lang yung naiiwa. That's just how it is. Diba? Pag gumawa ka ng krimen, kakasuhan ka. Regardless kung may election ba yan o wala. That's just how simple it is.
Okay. Maraming salamat sa pagpapaliwanag ng latest development. The former senator along with the Senate majority officially filing plunder and grafted malversation charges to the office of the ombudsman. Maraming salamat again for your time this morning. Former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV.
Maraming salamat po.